A lot of crypto evangelism sounds like nonsense to traditional investors. You were, and you are still, a dyed-in-the-wool macro guy, right?
Yes.
You worked at Goldman, you worked at Fortress. How did you make the journey from Wall Street punter to true believer? Help people along that road.
Sure. So crypto is a perfect asset to start with for a macro trader. It's a story, right? Macro traders love stories, they love charts, they love momentum, and they like to try to think they can see the future. And so when I first stumbled on crypto,
Which was when?
This was 2012.
While still at Fortress.
Well, still at Fortress, right in the middle of the European financial crisis, 4 years after the big financial crises. I looked at it and I was like, well, at that point, if you remember, we had real serious investors thinking that hyperinflation was on the way. Right? I remember Paul Singer from Elliott Investors, one of the greats, was wanting to put Ben Bernanke in jail for treason because he really thought he was going to inflate away the value of the dollar. Think about that for a second. And so you had this sense of nervousness around fiat currencies. You had this sense of distrust amongst the central banks and, quite frankly, the financial institutions. In 2008, we thought JP Morgan was going out of business. Lehman did go out of business. And so it felt like an easy play in that there was this amazing new technology and there was this story that we could have a distributed trust. You wouldn't need to trust the center. And so I saw libertarians, anarchists, cypherpunks, and really people that were worried about inflation all deciding this would be, a new asset. And so I just originally bought it thinking speculatively it'll go higher. And so I bought it for the money. We bought it, it was $96 Bitcoin, and it went up to 1,000 pretty quick, and that was pretty cool. It took a little while for me to dig in and really understand why it's going to be a lot bigger than a speculative asset.
Well, and that raises an important question.
So I don't know about you guys, but his story is very similar to mine. I purely got into cryptocurrency just for the money, I'm not going to lie, and to speculate. But at the same time, I started doing my research, started watching other YouTubers talk about crypto. One of the big people that influenced me was David Hay. If you haven't had a chance, definitely recommend his YouTube channel. And when I started to learn about the other issues that we have with our current economic system and the fact that everything is centralized and that central banks kind of produce our currencies and kind of control the market and inflation, I started to become more and more attracted to cryptocurrencies. And even now, I try not to be a crypto evangelist. I try, and it's funny because when I watch my own videos, I do this from time to time. It does sound like I'm talking about Jesus. I kind of feel like a preacher, and I keep saying the same things. It'll save us all. It's the greatest thing ever. And try, and that's why I do like the counter arguments. I do like the detractor, and I feel like any investor or anyone who truly wants to understand something, you have to know the positive arguments and the negative arguments. You can't just be biased. You got to try to accept everything. And for the most part, it's been a great ride, and I'm glad to share this interview. It's a really long interview, so I don't know if I'm going to cover the entire thing, but if you just YouTube his last name, Novogratz, it should come up. I know that people have been asking for the link when you can easily just look it up yourself. But let me know what you guys think about this, and I will be happy to share this entire thing with you. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon.